Hey besties, I'm Jet.
And I'm Victoria, and welcome to the Book
Welcome to the
Besteas
Book Besteas
Podcast.
Podcast, where the books are good
The takes are honest.
and the tea is always hot.
Today we are talking about Queen of Shadows, Book 4 of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Let's go back to Riftold with our queen.
Finally, this is one of the best books in the series, and
Hands down.
absolutely. And I always say this is when we finally get to stop waiting for the good parts to happen. This is where it's like bam, bam, bam from the beginning to end. Everything's just like happening. There's so many good stuff that, we get to absorb in this book.
What did you anticipate going in versus what did you get out of it?
After like about 5 books, I got in the zone of like the beginning parts are always a little bit slower. This time I was like, oh my gosh, everything's just like making sense from the
Yes.
Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and even like Air of Fire. Wow, it's amazing. I liked it. I think this is like my second best book ever. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't even leave time for myself to have any expectations. I just went right into this book and I could not put it down. It was such a thriller. So, if I were to describe this book with one word, it would be triumphant. Just because Aelin had so many
Ooh.
wins and I feel like all of her scheming was so impressive. Like it all made sense at the end. You didn't see it coming, but then it just hit you. How about you? One word.
I think it would be payback.
Yes, that is such a key word because there's so much going on. She's going back to the capital and she has I would say four main purposes. Free magic, destroy the king of Aderlin, rescue Aedion, and of those things, which do you think was the thing that stood out to you the most?
I think the Arobynn's like death.
Yes! Every
It was
episode
so
we've been talking about Arobynn.
It was so satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah. And the steps that went into it, I mean, come on. First of all, did you see it coming that she was scheming to get Aedion out through trying to trick Arobynn and basically use his in?
No.
Me either.
I honestly think that like rescuing Aedion was more of like it's not the main thing. Like it just became one of the things that is like on top of the priority list because of course it's Aedion. But in the beginning, like she already wanted to go to Aderlin again to free magic and destroy the King of Aderlin, especially with what happened in Air of Fire with
Right.
the Bald Prince and stuff like that. And then
It
come
was,
to think of it that all of a sudden she found out about Dorian.
yeah. What did you think about that moment?
I honestly think in the beginning when she's kind of considering killing Dorian, it's like no. But I guess like we're getting a glimpse of like her reclaiming her power, right? Like or like even like getting like stronger as a person, being powerful, and like now she kind of emerged as a leader already, right? So now we're
Yes.
seeing the part of her that would do what needs to be done, regardless if it's Dorian or not. So, I mean, it won't happen. We all know that, obviously. But in the beginning, I was like, okay, like she wrote this in a sense that she's giving her a glimpse of who she could be as a leader. What about you?
I
Did you
feel
think
like
that she was gonna kill Dorian?
I could believe it. I know. Yes, because she's always been someone who does what needs to be done and she doesn't want the people she loves to suffer. And I feel like she knew that Dorian wouldn't want to be the one who actually kills innocent people. If she were to leave him alive, then he would be so upset with himself. Like he was already losing himself, right? We saw that he was starting to take a back seat to this Valg Prince.
That like Aedion was working with Dorian, and then now like Aedion is captured, and as well as Dorian too, and like that's the whole thing she missed. It was a crazy good setup for everything to happen in this in this book.
Yes.
We also know that in killing Arobynn, right? Like Arobynn was actually killed by Lysandra and not Aelin
Yes.
herself. Although, of course, like Aelin orchestrated it and stuff like that. So it's, she's still the mastermind. But what did you think of Lysandra actually pulling the trigger?
I think it was so needed. I give
More than
props
Aelin?
to Aelin. Yes. I give props to Aelin for giving Lysandra the chance to do it, because Lysandra is the one I feel like who suffered even more. Like, the fact that we talked about this in a previous episode, how Arobynn bid on Lysandra. For her to get the chance to do the kill and to do it in bed, that was
And killed
key.
Wesley too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Lysandra.
And this is where we kind of also get to see the other side of Lysandra.
Yes.
Right?
Did you
Like,
see it coming?
No,
No, me
I didn't see
either.
this coming. Like, tell me about Irene or Ansel, and like those girls, I would probably see it coming. But with
Right.
Lysandra, I was caught off guard. I was like, oh wow. And they found that connection too with Sam and Wesley, and great.
Oh, the heartbreak and the fact that she found love with someone. And then they had to it's basically another Selena Sam situation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then we go on to them becoming friends. Initially, obviously, right in the beginning, they were enemies, and after this whole situation, they're more than friends. I mean, they're like really
Best friend.
besties.
Yeah.
Best
Besties.
friends. Yes. And I love that it immediately kicks off with them. Basically, Lysandra is just like really understanding because she knows their upbringing. Like, there's so little explaining that they need to do. There's almost this like
Absolutely.
unspoken. Yes.
Wow. And I
And
think
that's really
what
hard
we
to
also
find.
I know. And I always say that this series really like altered like my brain chemistry, right? In terms of like how I look at things or even look at people. And I was thinking how like sometimes we become friends with people who we met like a long time ago, but we don't really get to connect with them until later on, until after we both matured or like really find that connection. And I think that's something that we
Right.
need to honor. It's okay to not have that connection in the beginning yet. There are people in my life who became like a big part of my life now, but they didn't used to be, and now they're more important to me than anybody else that I made connection right away with. There's also that part of when you meet people when you're very young, when you kind of grow from where you were before, you kind of have this like understanding of like what you said, upbringing, right? And so now you know how they think, that regardless of like how what flaws or imperfection they might have, you are more forgiving because you know how they were raised or how they grew up to be.
Yes, absolutely. And we talked about that too with Aedion and Aelin in the previous episode, that there's so much he doesn't even need to explain, she would just understand, and vice versa. We also get to dive into Lysandra helping Aelin reclaim Terrasen. Not only are they friends, they're almost like part of her court, really.
Yep.
Other than the friendship part, did you expect that she was going to have so much power, really?
Not really. It was Rowan who sent Lysandra. And then this is the book where I'm like, damn, like, Rowan, you're just like blurting out all the all the stuff. And like people are like, what? Like I was shocked. Like every time he opens his mouth, it's like he knows everything. And I was like, oh my god, Lysandra is a shapeshifter. Like that's so cool.
That's so cool. And then later on, obviously, we get to learn about how much she could shapeshift. But in the moment, I was just so shocked. I didn't think about the possibilities.
And what she looks like is actually not her, not the real her.
Yeah, that's crazy
what
too.
She looks like, right?
Just thinking about that too, like how much of their identity, all of their generation has kind of lost who they initially were in order to fit in or to survive. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Another thing that we wanted to brush on is the fact that like even after Arobynn's death, the fact that she was still able to like manipulate a lot of people after it.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's like give me a break. This guy.
I know, even in his will, he still needs to screw people over. How is that even possible? But then talking about the will, Aelin basically outsmarting him completely, taking over his whole guild, his building, his riches. Like, goodness. Woman is on a roll.
Yep, this is her time. Okay, and well now we could finally close the Arobynn chapter. Yay! Yay!
I
Goodbye,
know.
Arobynn, for good.
Good riddance. Good
I
riddance.
know. Well, now that we're done with Arobynn, like, let's actually talk about Sam, because we gotta close that chapter
Oh.
with Sam too.
Do we? Do we have to?
But this is where the
Oh.
closure happens, you know? This is where
That's
we
true.
finally get to have that Aelin and Sam moment where she finally comes and talk to Sam as herself, as Aelin,
Yes.
as being honest with what she feels, what she went through. And I think that this is really needed, especially now that she's gonna start another chapter with Rowan.
It's beautiful. I feel like Rowan is also showing again and again that he can be a really great partner because of how much he respects that she had a past with Sam and that was really special to her, but then also acknowledging that he could be part of her future. And in
That's so sweet.
contrast, we have her semi closure with Chaol, and I feel like.
Okay, Chaol is still annoying in this book. so-
Yes. Still
Fair.
annoying, possibly slightly more annoying in some ways and less annoying in others. We get to see at the very least that he's now truly part of in Dorian's court. Like through and through, he's always gonna have Dorian's back, and he's making that clear now. But then
Yes.
does he really have Aelin's back? And does he believe that he's working towards a cause of saving humans? It's humans against the magical beings agenda, almost.
I was gonna say at least now he has direction in terms of like where his loyalty lies. But I think that in this book it's still very unclear because you still have that like insecurity and like he's still being beaten by the idea of Aelin and her magic and who she really is and
Yes.
him just being a human, right? And I feel like that's what makes him more annoying. It's like they're trying to get closure, but then there's so much hate in his heart.
Yes.
And we could see through that, so we're just like annoyed at him also.
Yeah, and the resentment of her moving on to find someone else. It's like, do you think you could even compare to Rowan? Let's be real, right? Maybe later, Chaol, but not now.
But that's just the reality, right? I kind of blame Aelin a little bit in terms of like, because she left saying that she would always choose Gale. And so I'm like, girl, what do you? So then now you're giving shit because obviously like, you would say something like that, right? You can't just like promise those things that, eventually, right, would. But again, that was the Selena.
That was the Lulu era Selena.
Yeah. And it teaches us something, right? Like it teaches us
Yes.
humans here in the real world that, okay, like that's a mistake that someone could make. And so now we don't want to promise stuff to people that we're not going to be able to keep. So, okay, there we go again. SJM teaching us another real life lesson.
And thinking about that too, I'm wondering, is that why she started being more secretive about her plans? Because she didn't want to, quote unquote, promise to other people that she would be able to follow through with raising the army or finding the funds, stuff like that. What do you think?
Makes sense. Yeah. I think she's just became like a more, it's something that I also have realized as I got matured as a person is that you don't need to say everything to people. There are things that you still keep to yourself privately, not because you're hiding it or you're being secretive, but because sometimes you just don't need to tell everyone what your next move would be, right? And
Yes.
I feel like that's a really good thing that I happen to like learn, and I feel like that's something that Aelin learned too, like she needs to kind of like do things by herself and she doesn't need to always announce it.
And she's building more tact too. She's doing things in a more strategic way than she used to. Like, let's compare her to Assassin's Blade Selena, where she kind of just like threw her and Sam into the whole situation at Skull's Bay. Now she has all of these plans and then sets them in motion slowly as needed.
Yep. Okay, so we see obviously Rowan gets back. That was so cute.
Oh,
That was so cute. So anyways, like Aedion's free, and we also met Nesrin here, and then it was Nesrin and Aedion who were talking about who that guy is, and Aedion was like Rowan, and there he goes. And then I remember the time when Aelin had to like run to Rowan and like hug him really tight, and it was so beautiful. I'm like, yes, Rowan's back
for the win. I feel like their whole meeting, like of the power men, basically, it almost felt like a Avengers, where like the super strong men in her life are coming together all at once. It's crazy. Anyway,
Who
so
else is in Otterland though? Because I know one more guy who's like now in Otterland.
Lorcan?
To show up.
Yes, okay, so Lorcan is in Otterland because he's trying to get the thing back for Maeve.
Yep.
Okay, first impressions of Lorcan.
Well, we met Lorcan in Air of Fire, but I think here I kind of knew Lorcan is gonna be like a good guy though.
Yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
it was too.
Yeah.
We have too many double agents going on in the SJM universe, and it was like, he's gotta be one.
Did you already like Lorcan from the beginning, or did you like him more like after he had this like love thing with someone?
Oh, yeah, the love thing was definitely the game changer for me.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't hate
okay.
him, but I was always like, like he's okay, you know, like he's helping move the story forward type thing. I also didn't understand his loyalty to Maeve.
But I guess it is what it is, the blood oath, you know?
Yeah, but Rowan didn't seem to have that same compelling drive to like support her. But then we get more of Manon.
Manon, who is the reason why Aelin didn't kill Dorian.
So Manon, Elide, and Abraxos, right? That whole situation, I felt like it was really interesting that this is when we start to see more of Manon choosing a side. Because she's actually taking explicit action toward helping, I guess, the good side, if you will, through saving Elide, through telling her where to go. And then we also get the whole Kaltain arc, which is insane. Did you see the Kaltain arc? Like the thing being inside her?
No. I honestly somehow forgot about Kaltain.
She was such an underrated character for me.
Yeah, but she became like such a big part of this whole thing. Right? She's an independent girly who really, you know?
Yes, and we've talked about Dorian being alone. Kaltain was even lonelier. Everyone hated her. Both the bad guys and the good guys hated her up until the very end.
Yeah.
But then the cloak. Going back to this idea that Aelin has been sowing good karma for herself. She literally just gave Kaltain a cloak. And then Kaltain put the thing into the cloak to give it to Elide to give to her.
Back. I know.
Oh. And the way she just imploded herself. She sacrificed herself for all of these women who, by the way, I just felt really frustrated with the fact that they were so down for being basically like a farm for the Valg princes. Why were the witches okay doing this? But I'm glad, though, that Kaltain ended up, saving them from eternal misery. But still, it's crazy.
Yep.
We unfortunately learned, though, that she didn't take down the whole building, so then some people still get to escape. But in the meantime, now we go to Elide, and Manon getting closer with Abraxos, and then finding her own path. It was a small moment, but I think this was also when Manon steals the fighter silk and for Abraxos.
Yeah.
I loved that moment because it's like it's showing that kind of like with the whole fourth wing thing that you can still be a rider even if you need a saddle. Like Abraxos can still be someone she can ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
A good one.
Exactly.
We also start to see the meeting of one of our favorite couples in the series, Elide and Lorcan.
Oh.
Cute.
They're so cute.
The smallest girl and the biggest guy.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to talk about this for a second. First impressions. Do you think it's even possible for this woman to be with this man sexually? Yeah, biologically.
No, biologically no, and I really had to think about this for weeks.
I know. We've had so many talks about this.
I don't think biologically it's possible.
Or would she get hurt? Like, would she still try?
Of course. You're gonna get ripped.
But anyway, their relationship, I love an enemies to lovers like that, where he's so stoic and then she's just like, what the hell are you doing? She tries to escape multiple times.
So sweet in his own way. He's
in
like
his own way.
Yeah, he's such like a manly guy, but so much of a sweetheart.
Yes.
Would do her laundry, would wash her clothes. I'm like, he would even cut up his shirt for it to be like for when she got a period. Like, wow. So cute.
He's so sweet. Like those tiny details. How did he even figure that out? And then their whole like husband and wife thing with the circus. Oh, did you see those Wait, I think you sent me the meme, right? What?
Yes,
There's this
I've
meme.
seen yeah, like the circus, like they pretended to be husband and wives where he does the knives and stuff.
Yes. I
Cute.
love it. And then I could totally imagine him just like rolling his eyes, just being like doing it in his sleep. And then everyone's just like, oh, damn, like this guy's really
Yeah, oh
nice.
damn.
Oh, damn. I mean, yeah, as you know, Lorcan is really up there for me in terms of like MMCs.
Is he still your number one?
Cassie from ACOTAR might be top, and then Lorcan? Or was it the other way around?
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but you know,
Okay.
now that I'm thinking about it again, like, the man's really sweet.
You know, I think Rowan is getting higher again.
Yeah? What was
it's
that one
always
moment
Dorian
in
for
this
my one.
book? Oh yeah, of course. But what was that moment in this book, at least, that convinced you Rowan is like getting up there?
I think it was when he put his trust on Aelin and Dorian.
Oh,
I think it's the fact that like he wasn't insecure with Dorian, because like obviously like Dorian is like, you know, the childhood, you know, he's also a best friend, I would say, of Aelin.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good friend, best friend, who had like a thing with her in the past, but he was able to respect that without being insecure, without, you know, he knows that they have to do it together. He would
Right.
not put himself with them. Like he would not force it. And I think I like that. I think there's so much respect that this is her thing that she needs to do with Dorian. They're fated together to do this, you know, and he sees their magic come together and stuff like that. I think that's such a beautiful, and I was like, okay, if this guy could respect like, you know, what Dorian and Aelin have, like, then this is the guy.
Yeah, he's a special man.
Yeah.
He's a very I mean, in the last episode we were like, Rowan is Rowan. Like he's his own man.
He's his
and we
own
see
man.
that again and again in this book as well. So now we have the whole gang and they're going to Terrasen. And Aelin's just trying to build her court, really. But let's say if you didn't know at the time, who did you think was going to be the key player in her court?
You know, honestly, I thought it was going to be Rowan.
Ooh, okay.
But it turned out to not be Rowan. Like, the spotlight actually went to other people, right? Like,
right.
I thought it was going to be Rowan, but I was like, well, it's even better because then you don't need a guy.
You don't. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I
Let's
like
talk
that.
about like what happened with Chaol too.
Chaol is involved with a rebel group, and then Nesryn. So going back to Nesryn, right? He kind of has this thing, kind of sort of with Nesryn. She's really powerful, and actually, I felt like she deserved better. Kind of like with the whole Selena Chaol thing, she deserved better. But somehow they actually had a history too. Did you see that? Did you think that was gonna? Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Did not see that.
Apparently, you know, obviously, like, Chaol would still involve himself with the whole, like, thing with the King of Adarlan. It was revealed during the confrontation that the King of Adarlan is not purely himself, that he's still being controlled by the Vogue Prince, and that Erewhon is actually the big villain here, which is actually the Duke of Parrington. Chaol, basically, he lost his ability to stand or to walk or to use his legs during this time. How did you feel about that? Like, just knowing that, you know, obviously we hate Chaol in this book, and then all of a sudden that happened to him.
Okay, so this might sound terrible, but basically, I felt like it was going to be a humbling experience for him. I think that all this time he's been too focused on his physical abilities, which we actually haven't seen too much in action, to be honest. He's only killed one person. But now that he doesn't have that, he has to figure out who he is as a person and as a man.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a growing experience for him, as we see later on, but it's a start. What about for you?
I think a part of me was scared that he's going to get his way because of what happened to him. That he's going to... I was like, oh, okay, so then now no one could call him out because people would feel bad about what happened to him. But I'm glad that instead what happened was he was humbled by it, and that he really needed to like step up and like really get to know himself, you know, as himself, not with his physical abilities or like, you know, what he could do as a Kingsguard and stuff. So we get to see like a very, very emotional goodbye from all of them, like having, especially after the king of Aelin was killed. So now basically Dorian is now the king. Aelin protected Dorian with the wall of fire, and saying that she is the queen of Terrasen and she's an ally of the king of Aelin, which is Dorian, and until he's better, then they have her to deal with. I feel like that was, even if it was short and sweet, the fact that they were able to like bond together at the glass castle, which is now not a glass castle, right?
Yeah.
Just a castle. But that moment, and then having to end up like them being, having to go their separate paths. And I'm like, and then Dorian being alone.
Again.
Again. And then leaving to go to the Taurus Esme and find, healers and get allies, while the court of Terrasen would go to obviously Terrasen and start there.
It's crazy. I feel like this whole kickoff, well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that she basically took over initially, and everyone's like thinking, oh, is she power hungry? Like, or maybe not everyone, but some people are thinking, like, is she trying to really just take over Aelin for herself? Did you ever for a moment question that?
No.
Yeah, me either. And there's just too much history with her and Dorian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's always had Terrasen in mind. That's her home. That's her kingdom.
She couldn't even take Terrasen back at this point. So I think...
Right. Let's take a rewind for a second, because we had the moment where Chaol and Aelin were fighting over the Dorian situation. Whether he was like, oh, don't kill him. And then she's like, I have to, but I'll give you some time. Nesryn steps in. I think she's another really underrated character in this book, because she prevents Aelin from killing Dorian. How in that moment did you think that Chaol was in the right, I guess, in what he was doing?
I don't think he was in the right, because he was still scheming, and I don't like scheming. It has to be talked about. You have to agree on something, even if it's the wrong decision, even if you end up just making the wrong call, it still has to be like a collective, thing. Like, you don't scheme against your allies. So
all right, you want to play a game? It's called Quote That Character.
Okay, let's do it.
So these are random quotes that I've come up with, and you have to decide on a character that you think would say this.
Okay.
So number 1, why didn't you believe me?
Chaol.
Yes! I had the same person in mind. Yes! Okay, why'd you say that?
I don't know, because I feel like the other characters are so sure of who they are that I don't care, like, if you don't believe me. But, like, Chaol has always cared about, like, what other people think about him.
That's so on point. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, I never knew you could be like this.
Oh. Arobynn.
Ooh. To who would he say that?
To everyone.
Ooh, because they out-schemed him.
Well, I was just thinking, because I feel like he's always going to be like, oh, he thinks that he's the manipulative one, or like, yeah. Who was supposedly, who would it be?
I was going to say Elide to Lorcan.
To Lorcan
and to Manon.
Oh.
There's so many people that came in her life that she was like, whoa, wait, you're actually helping me type thing.
That makes sense.
But maybe that's too literal. Okay, number 3. Who said beer?
Beer?
Like the drinking, like alcohol beer.
Oh, Aedion.
Ah, yes. 4. Why must life be so hard?
Abraxas?
Oh, Abraxos. Little Abraxos. And 5.
Okay.
That's a good one. I love Abraxos. 5 is, I loved you with all my heart.
Rowan.
Oh, Rowan.
I just feel like he's not scared to say those kind of things.
Oh,
okay.
The man.
My turn. Let's play a game.
Another game. All right, let's go.
Let's go. Finish the sentence.
All right.
Okay. Aelin walked into Ritholt and said,
burn it to the ground.
Okay. Aelin and Rowan together are
dream team.
Oh. Dorian is Aelin's
soulmate.
Oh my god, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing. Totally. Yeah, they're like Faded for sure.
Oh,
It's just like they weren't
special.
chosen, but they weren't for
Yep.
Chaol in this book made me
Barf.
ah
Maybe a little too graphic.
same. Arobynn's death is
Ooh, satisfying.
satisfying.
Yes.
After this book, I'm officially, or it's officially one or the other.
Game time.
And lastly, home is
Fireheart.
oh.
Oh.
Oh, I love Throne of Glass. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite quotes and moments. I'll go first. Quote, to call in old debts and promises, to raise an army of assassins and thieves and exiles and commoners.
I don't necessarily have a quote, but favorite moments. I'm going back again to the last part of where the whole team had the time to bond with each other at the castle in Rithold, and I think it was a moment of peace for them. It's just like just a little time together, and something like I visually could imagine it. It was fun. It was they probably eat dinner together, and like that was my favorite moment. And I hope that I was hoping back then, I was like, I hope this happens, a lot more in the future.
I feel like, yeah, it's so bittersweet.
Yeah.
Aw. Okay. So,
Well,
we've talked about Queen of Shadows.
final rating.
Okay. This was one of my top books. It wasn't my top. I think Airfire was my top. But I think it was my second top. What about yours?
Yeah, same as me. Yeah. 5-star, right? For sure.
Oh,
for sure,
5-star, hands down.
Yes.
So what are we talking about next week?
Of course, we're talking about Empire of Storms. By the way, we did the tandem read, so we couldn't do like an Emperor of Storms and then Tower of Dawn by themselves. Which was like, wow, that was a pain to like wait years before the next book comes out. So we're glad that we were able to have both of them and tandem read both of them. It was a little rough to go, through chapters you don't even know which book you're reading. So bear with us next week. We're gonna do our best. Empire of Storms is coming. I love that book. So much emotions. The scheming of Aelin continues and the mastermind happens, and yeah, so exciting.
Oh, I can't wait, guys. And until then, see you next week, besties.